In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you one of the states in the US where you can get your teaching license without having to travel out of Nigeria. So I actually did explore a lot of the states, and while you are able to get your license from most of those states, you may be required to take the praxis exam. For this particular state, the praxis exam is not a requirement. I'm going to be taking you through the website to show you. However, bear in mind that this particular license is best for those who are looking to go into international teaching. You can add this to your CV to give you an edge to be able to get those roles in international schools. If you would like to use this license in the US, you may have to meet certain requirements to be able to use a license to teach in the US. Getting this license doesn't also guarantee that you're able to migrate to the US. So it's just a license for you to be able to teach. But then you need to get the role, the teaching role, to be able to use a license in the US. And you may have to meet certain other requirements to be able to use it in the US. But this can be used anywhere else in the world, either in Europe or Asia, as a teacher. I did a video where I talked about how I got my teaching license. And in that video, if you haven't seen that video, you want to go watch it. In that video, I mentioned that each state in the US has their license requirements. You will not be able to use an Iowa license to teach in Texas. Every single state has its requirement. Although you may be able to transfer the license from one state to another, but each state has its requirement. So I also want you to bear that in mind. Hello lovelies, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Onyi Anekwe. If this is your first time here, welcome to the family. Please do consider subscribing and click on the notification bell so that you get notified each time I drop a video. Let's head on to my computer so that I show you which state I'm talking about. The state we're going to be talking about today is Colorado. The teaching license in Colorado is issued by the Colorado Department of Education. So if you look here, you're going to see that this is for teachers from out of states. First of all, let's look at what kind of licenses that the state of Colorado issues. I'm going to click on this educators. So this is the home page of the Department of Education. And if you look here, you see that they offer different kind of licensing services. The ones for teachers, special services, for audiologists, psychologists, and different specialists within the educational sector. Then they also have licenses for principals, all authorizations, administration, and so on. But let's move forward to the one that really applies to us, and that is licensure information for out-of-state candidates. I'm just going to type out of country licenses and let's see what we find. So yes, licensure requirement for out-of-state and foreign applicants, and then teachers from out-of-state / out-of-country. So I'm going to click on that. Here are the requirements here. First of all, note that you have an application fee of £110 to pay. And from here, I see that the license expires either 1 year, 3 years, or 7 years from date of issue, depending on qualifications. So I want to highlight this depending on qualifications. Although here, it's obvious that you can get the license. Bear in mind that they're going to screen your documents, and whatever it is your issue, that's the number of years you're issued, will be peculiar to you based on your credentials. So while someone else might get 3 years or 7 years, you may get 1 year. So just bear that in mind. Moving on. First, you're going to need your out-of-country teacher preparation program. I talked about this in the last video I did. So if you have your PGDE or your PGCE, that covers for your teacher preparatory program. If you also have your BEd, that also stands for your teacher preparatory program. So any course or any program you did that shows those elements of teaching practice that can stand as your teacher preparatory program. An earned bachelor's or higher degree from a regional accredited college or university, or for those with transcripts from outside the US, the equivalent as described by NACSC members organization prepared equivalency report. So that's the credential evaluation. There are different, let me open this and let's see. There are a list of NACES organizations that Colorado accepts. So this is the list of the bodies where you can evaluate your credentials. If you look down here, you're going to see the World Education Services, which is WES. So you need to do your credential evaluation. Like I said in my previous video, you really do want to watch that video so that you understand the process that I took to get mine from the state of Hawaii. Like I said in that video, Hawaii no longer issues teaching licenses except you have taught in the US and you also have to take the praxis exam. So you need to run your credentials through WES. WES, you have to evaluate your credentials. If you have a bachelor's in education, then you're evaluating your bachelor's in education transcript. If you have a bachelor's in a different field and a postgraduate diploma in education, those two transcripts have to be requested and sent to WES. Watch my previous video to understand further. You send them to WES and then WES evaluates. You're doing a course by course evaluation. You're requesting a course by course evaluation for your credentials. You must have earned a bachelor's degree or higher. Take note of that. Secondly, you need to have completed an approved teacher preparatory program, including student teaching. Note, you must hold or be eligible to hold a teaching license in the state which it is approved. So this is where your TRCN comes in. You did your teacher preparatory program in Nigeria, and then you have your TRCN, which is the license issued to teachers in Nigeria. Other requirements are documentation for content knowledge for each endorsement requested. It also says something about social security number. It's important this is popping up because I remember when I did mine, I was also supposed to send in my social security number, but then I emailed HTSB to let them know that I was not in the US and I was not a citizen of the US, and they asked me to use 9 zeros as my social security number while I was filling the form. And that is why I said in that video that it is important that you send emails. When you get to the point where you're stuck and you don't know what to do, send emails, explain your situation, and they will give you a way forward. I used 9 zeros as my social security number, and I was able to go through to get that requirement. So let's just move on to, they have a Q&A I think we should look at. So these are the frequently asked questions. Can I use my valid out-of-state license to start working in Colorado? Questions are answered here. The answer is no. Out-of-state educator license cannot be used in Colorado. You must submit an application for licensure in Colorado and be issued a valid Colorado license prior to working in Colorado schools. Do I need transcripts from every college or university that I have attended? Yes, you must submit official transcripts from every college or university that you have attended. So this is your WES evaluation should cover this, because you're requesting transcripts from your bachelor's and your postgraduate, bachelor's or every other higher education that you have completed. You don't need your master's. You don't need to submit your master's degree. What you need is your postgraduate, because your master's is an academic degree. I completed my program in a foreign country. Do you want official transcripts from my country? So the answer is, except for transcripts in English from Canadian universities, Colorado does not determine degree credits or program equivalencies earned outside the United States. Instead, you must request a course-by-course equivalency evaluation from a current NACES member. This equivalency evaluation will take the place of official transcripts. This is very straightforward. What teaching endorsements area will transfer from my out-of-state credentials to my Colorado license. You initially will be endorsed in the approved program area completed at your out-of-state college or university or through your out-of-state alternative program. Any additional content area must be added via an added endorsement application. When I did my course by course evaluation, at the bottom of that evaluation, ECE did a summary to show the equivalency of my Nigerian credentials to the US one, and at the end they said that I was qualified to be issued a license in physics, and that's because I studied applied geophysics. So if your content area is math, or you did early childhood, whatever it is you did in your bachelor's degree or in your postgraduate degree, that is the area you're going to be getting your license. This one is very important. Number 6. What tests will I be required to complete? Will you accept my out-of-state test results? You may be exempt from content assessment tests if you have 3 or more years of verified successful full-time teaching experience. Substitute teaching does not apply for these 3 or more years. And this is the reason why I decided to bring this state to you guys, because all the other states I saw had the requirement of either writing their own state exam or writing the praxis exam. But from what we see here, it says that you may be exempt from the content assessment test. So I'd like you guys to jump on this now, because these policies actually do really change very fast. I'm going to be dropping the link for this in the description of this video. You go through these links, look at the contact details that are available to you here, send emails to them to ask all your questions. But the first thing I would advise anyone who is looking to getting a teaching license to do would be to begin to request your transcript from your school and do your credential evaluation, because whichever state it is you're using or whichever country it is you're using will need to see that document. I hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comment section if you're going to try this out. I wanted to add that when I was getting my second license with the state of Iowa, I had to do my fingerprint. I was in Nigeria, and what they did was to email the packet to me. So they sent me a packet that had a document for the fingerprint. I took it to the police force headquarters and did my fingerprint on that document that I was given, and then I emailed it back to them. That was how I got my fingerprint done. So I wanted to add that element to this video. There is always a way for everything. Like I said, ask questions, send emails, and they'll give responses. I hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'm going to see you again in my next one. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.